representing Hoarding, Vinette Jackson.
What are you holding on to? Guaranteed, every single member in this audience is holding on to something right now. A piece of paper, your pen, your hand, or even your body. As human beings, we're born with two things, opposable thumbs and the grasp reflex, which means we enter this world holding on to things and we never truly let go until the day we die. Contest chair, fellow graspers. 20 years ago, I was reminded of the importance of holding on. I was sitting in the college changing room, listening to my coach giving his pre-game talk. Hold on, never give up. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. Hold on as if your life depended on it. It was the final of our tug-of-war tournament. Full of determination, I marched out onto that field. I grabbed that rope and I waited for the other team to enter. A few seconds later, the other team marched out onto the field. I turned to my coach, terror painted across my face. From the sidelines he shouted, "Remember David and Goliath!" I took a deep breath and I grabbed that rope, determined I was never going to let go. Ready, set, go! As my feet left the ground, I could hear the audience singing, "I believe she can fly." 5 seconds later, I was face down in mud. Immediately, coach was by my side. "Vinette, are you okay?" "No," I mumbled. And then he asked me one of the most important questions of my life. "Vinette," he said, "why didn't you just let go?" Toastmasters, I learned 2 very important lessons that day. 1, holding on may signify strength, but it is a braver and wiser person who knows when it's time to let go. And 2, human beings cannot fly. By a show of hands, how many people have ever seen the show Hoarders before? Brilliant. For me, it is always physically distressing when I see the things that people choose to hold on to. But recently, I have discovered a far worse type of hoarding. It is called mental hoarding. Holding on to negative, self-destructive thoughts. Now, the law of physics tells me that no 2 things can occupy the same space. And most psychologists will tell you, you cannot think of 2 things at the very same time. In order to achieve anything in life, you must learn to let go. In order to fulfill your potential, to be everything you were created to be, you must learn to let it go. What are you holding on to this afternoon? Is it your age? Do you think you're too old or maybe too young? Is it your qualification? Didn't get the right subjects, don't have the right degree? Is it your height? Is it your weight? Is it where you live? Is it the person you're married to? What are you holding on to this afternoon? For years, I held on to 3 very simple things. 1, I was too short. 2, I could never speak in front of an audience. And 3, I was black. Until one day, I decided to have a mental clear out. And so I joined Toastmasters, and now I can speak in front of an audience. I bought some nice new heels, and now I'm much taller. And, well, yes, I am still black. But I no longer use it as an excuse to prevent me from what I want to do. What are you holding on to this afternoon? Consider Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years behind bars. Can you imagine the anger, the bitterness, the rage that must have consumed him? Yet he chose to let it all go and became the first black president of South Africa. Barack Obama, many said a black man could never enter the White House. Yet he chose to let go of that mental limitation, of that negative self-belief, and became the first black president of America. What could you become if you decide to let it go this afternoon? My grandmother was a wise old woman, and she once told me a story of two monks that embarked on a journey. And as they started off, at mile 1, they came upon an old lady distressed on the banks of a river. The older monk, without any hesitation, bent down and scooped that lady up and carried her across the river and set her down on the banks. The younger monk was in shock. They were told never to touch the opposite sex, but out of respect, he said nothing, and so they continued on their journey. After a while, when he could take it no longer, he turned to the older monk and he said, "Father, we were taught never to touch the female sex, yet you scooped that woman up." The older monk shook his head and looked at the younger monk and said, "My son, I left that woman on the banks of the river. Why are you still carrying her?" Fellow Toastmasters, I want to challenge you this afternoon that when you become engaged in that tug of war called life, and your opponents are self-doubt, fear of failure, limitation, and any other negative thoughts, be that voice of your own coach and just let go. Contest.